Hey guys, sorry I'm not showing my face in this video because I didn't have time to like do makeup and I look really sickly lately and it's whatever, but it's a real quick dye video, so I'm gonna skip straight to it. I dyed a couple of girls, honestly, like a chunk of series 4. I've dyed, there's some Pacific Coast in here, some Costume Ball, yeah, some neutralizing, some rainbow dyeing, all of it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and let's get to it. Okay, so to start off, we've got our 2 Harper Dunes. One is going to be brown, which should be very, very simple. We're going to start with this sink dye, and if that doesn't get it as dark as I'd like it, we'll take it to the boil pot. But for now, we've got our chocolate brown, which is a much warmer tone than the dark brown, as it's more red-based. And then we've got all of our rainbow colors out for our second Harper, who's going to be getting rainbow hair. I'm just gonna like do it in little stripes, honestly. Like, we've done rainbow hair before, it's really easy. I think it's all going to be sink dye. I don't think we're going to need to boil. For these guys, we will need to boil. With Jewel, I'm going over it with a cherry red in hopes to neutralize her green and make a nice brown. I'm also eventually going to swap her eyes out to brown, but probably not this video. It just, neutralizing is really simple, but when you have already dark colors, you have to do boil. With Coco, we're going to do orange, and with Ainsley, we're going to do fuchsia. I'm hoping that the fuchsia will take the purple in her hair to a brighter pink. Not even necessarily pink, I guess, just more purple. But we also have this crystal over here I almost forgot about. She is also going to be getting brown hair. I don't know what was with me and all the neutrals in this video. I just felt like neutralizing everything that week. Like, when I recorded this, which is actually a while back, it took me a while to put this video together, I was in a mood to neutralize everything. Now, to neutralize purple, we normally use yellow, but her hair is a blend of orange and purple, so it may take more than yellow to get it brown. I did end up buying a new dye, and it's, sorry, specifically for this crystal. It's Rit Marigold. I'd never seen this color before. Normally my Joann's didn't have it, so I don't know if it's new or that they just started carrying it, but we're going to see if this Marigold Yellow, which, like I said, I don't know how it's going to come out, but if it can neutralize her purple and her blue. Typically you'd use orange to neutralize blue, so I might need to add that. We'll see. Okay, so first off, we're going to go ahead and run our sink of the dark cocoa brown. I've got a good bit of dye in there, probably like a quarter of a bottle. I want it really, really brown, and I'm doing a couple of dolls in brown. So we're just throwing down the chocolate brown and seeing how this goes. So we've got our Harpers. I like to like normally wet their hair to make sure that it actually sinks down in the dye and doesn't just float on the top. So I'm going to get her hair wet, having it absorb the water. Like I said, it just helps it sink down. It helps with getting an even coverage. And I do this usually whether I'm going to boil them or sink dye them. Alright, so it's going to dip her down, and I don't know how long it'll take for her to turn brown. I imagine with this like light blonde hair, it shouldn't take very long. But, and you can see, like with this chocolate brown, it is very red based versus Rit's dark brown, they're black, tan, and camel, which are all very, very green based and sometimes leave like a green sheen to the hair after you've dyed it. So this is going to be a reddish brown, and I like that. I want something really warm for Harper. But looking at this already, I'm just not sure it's going where I want it to go. And I'm going to leave her in for quite a bit because I want it to get as dark as it can possibly get. But if this fails, I'm just going to scoop up a pot of it and boil it. And I will say, like, honestly, you don't have to use your sink. You could just go ahead and use a pot to start with. Put hot tap water in the pot and do this same thing. And then, if it's not dark enough, you could boil the water after that, and it's already in the pot, so you're not wasting any. Like this, half of it's going to be ran down the sink, so technically I've wasted some when I could have just done it in a pot to begin with. I just do it in the sink because, like, I don't really think about it, honestly. But I really should. I should just start doing the hot tap water baths in a pot. I think just, like, in the sink, like, it's because of how I started out. And again, if you have a like stainless steel sink, you probably don't want to do this. If your sink is porcelain or plastic or whatever, like, you don't want to do this because it will stain your sink. Only use stainless steel if you're going to do a sink bath. A lot of people can't do it in their sink. Like I said, it's great to just do it in a pot. you don't have to use the sink. And the amount of dye you use is going to be based on the amount of water you use. So you technically could probably, I guess, like save on dye by using a smaller pot. I use not the very smallest one I have, but like the next size up when I'm doing boil. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is going to go as dark as I want it. It almost clashes through skin. I would add a crystalline as well into the brown to see if I could just go brown without needing the marigold. I don't know if that's actually going to work either. I think I'm just going to have to boil both of them. I'm going to go ahead and dip Harper in it because, like I said, I really want her hair to be a dark, rich brown. And looking back, I probably should have added like probably some just like actual dark brown with the green in order to tone out this red and make it like a more neutral brown. And I probably will do that in the future. It's just not something I had on hand at the moment because I run out of dyes, and like honestly I haven't been dyeing as often lately due to well, honestly, just because MGA put out so many dolls so quickly this year and at higher price points, with me collecting other lines, it was very, very hard to stay caught up. Like I said, in June, when bad stuff happened, everything kind of fell behind. I didn't buy dolls for like a month and somehow managed to get like 14 OMGs behind, like 10 plus Barbie extras behind, God knows how many Rainbow High dolls behind. And I'm still catching up. Like, they've just released so much so fast that missing 1 month was like actually devastating. So like I don't have, you know, doubles of a lot of the dolls I want to dye yet. Just because I have been kind of trying to collect all these other lines and fit everything in between. So it does get like, I guess, like frustrating because I'll run out of dye and it's like I don't know when I'm going to need this color again, so I'm just not going to bother with it right now. Plus, in order to get all of the colors, either I have to order online, and a lot of times they're higher priced. Like on Amazon, the RIT dyes are like anywhere from, you know, $7, $8, $9 versus I can go over the mountain and get them for $4 each. However, that means I have to drive to the other side of the mountain, and I don't really go over there that often. So yeah, if I run out of a color, a lot of times it's just like, oh, well, I'll get it whenever I get it. It's not a big deal. And it's kind of where me and Chocolate Brown are sitting because I was like, I'm going to lay off the neutrals. I'm not going to dye as many dolls, brown, black, blonde, you know, natural red, whatever, because I've been doing them so much lately. And then I did it again. Oops, I did it again. I don't know. I'm always like, I have too many neutrals. Okay, so as you can see here with Crystal's hair and my stained fingers, there's still a lot of blue left. It did turn the purple in her hair to a nice, like a nice brown color. But the blue is still really, really obvious. So even with the hot sink water, it wasn't really getting as dark as I wanted it. I did try to do a bit of marigold and orange mixed in with the brown, and it still just wasn't quite enough in the sink wash. So we're going to boil wash her hair and try to get this blue out, and just make her as natural as possible. All right, so, and here's the boil pot for that. Like I said, I've got the chocolate brown in there, some marigold, some orange, so it should warm up the blue and purple. All right, so here I am dipping her. You know, I usually do a thing where I'll dip for like 20 to 30 seconds, and then I do like a 10-second cold rinse. And a lot of that is just to make sure that, you know, nothing stains, first of all. I mean, RIT all-purpose, really, I haven't had any issues with it staining. I've had like maybe 3 people ever tell me that they have had an issue with it staining the skin. And I imagine, like, if you left the face in boiling water long enough, it absolutely probably would. It's not as bad as RIT Dye More, but there's always that possibility. So I do those cold rinses in between just to kind of prevent that, get any residue that could be, you know, on their skin that could change the color, whatever. So that's what I did here. I did a quick cold rinse. You can see there's still quite a bit of blue around the edges. Even doing this boiling bath. And that's the thing. So like a sink bath is really just hot tap water and your dye, you know, your vinegar if you want it. And a boil wash is, you know, actual boiling water, not just as hot as your sink can go, but like genuinely boiling water. And then your dye, your vinegar, your salt, whatever. I don't really use the salt and vinegar very much anymore, if ever. The salt really just supposedly helps the water boil faster. I don't know how much of that's an old wives' tale and how much of it is real. The vinegar does actually open up the pores and help the dye take better, from what I've seen. Alright, here you go. So you can see it's got a lot of brown, a bit of the lighter colors, some of the darker, depending on the purple and blue streaks. I got around the edges really well. I might need to paint her scalp, but like I hate painting the scalp because it can be really messy and tedious. Anytime you see around the edges, a lot of times it's like close to the ear, you'll see a little bit of residual or remaining color where you didn't get that area in long enough. So sometimes I do have to go back and redip. Definitely gonna have to repaint her baby hairs. I mean, you know, because the blue doesn't really match the brown now. So that's a thing. As far as Harper goes, I always wish it was a darker brown, but I'm going to let this dry and see where it goes, because I really want to like it, and it could look really good just like this. We'll see. Alright, so I went back, I dipped Crystal a bit more just to get around the ears, because those little like pointy spots that I guess would be like almost like sideburn spots where your sideburns would start. Those are a little harder to get in the water and get them to take color and not worry about like a bunch of dye getting on the face. Now the eyes will stain even with RIT all-purpose, so definitely don't dip your doll's face in enough to get the eyes in there. I try to tip the pot or whatever and tip the doll's hair just to get around the edges and not get all over her face, so it may also be an issue as to why I've never had trouble with like face staining, etc., unless it was with dye more. Alright, so yeah, we got the edges much better this time. Obviously, this lighting's not great, but you can definitely tell everything is brown. And of course, like, I will show you guys pictures of the aftermath when it's time. Alright, so Crystal is brown. Coco is brown. Harper is brown. That's a lot of brown. And I don't actually have a lot of brown doll clothes. And anytime I'm dyeing dolls brown, I almost always forget to go ahead and dye them some clothes to go with. So definitely, if you're going to be dyeing, go ahead and grab your clothes, anything that you're going to want to match. You can see I twist their hair to keep kind of curls in it. If I'm trying to keep it straight, I lay it straight or brush it out. With Harper's hair, she's got crimps, so I'm just kind of scrunching it to kind of keep those crimps in once the hair dries. Just because like the weight of the water in the hair pulls it down and will actually straighten it, like if you try to dry them standing up. And it won't straighten it necessarily perfectly, but it'll definitely take out some of the curls, some of the crimp. So I lay them down to dry most of the time. Sometimes I'll even just grab my hairdryer just because I want to get it done and over with. Okay, so we've got red here, and I think pink there. We're going to just start doing the rainbow colors. I like to just keep a bunch of pots going at one time because it's a little easier. So I've used the red to try and neutralize the green on Jewel, and it didn't. Like, it actually turned it purple, which was unexpected because her hair, I guess, isn't like truly green. It's like a teal bluish green. So yeah, no, it actually gave me purple, which was, it didn't look bad on her at all, but the scalp was super, super obvious, so I would have had to have painted it. You know, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was going for. So I've got this other Harper. Since I've got those colors out, I've already separated her hair. I'm ready to get this rainbow going. I'm kind of doing it slightly differently this time. I've definitely separated. I originally wanted to keep half of her side blonde and half of it rainbow. But honestly, just because the dye does bleed slightly, it's very hard to do. Like, it'd probably be easier to some degree with human hair dye because you could keep it slightly away from the root so any bleeding would go onto the root. But human hair dye, the colorful stuff, doesn't always take. Like, I know Manic Panic does, but it's kind of pale, and like Ion and stuff like that didn't take it at all when I tried them. So I ended up doing her head a whole rainbow. Okay, so here they are. This is just a quick clip. You can see Ainsley's hair. I mean, obviously it doesn't lighten, but it brightened quite a bit. Boiling it in that fuchsia, I got closer to show Ainsley versus what we got, which was very, very dark. So you can see, like, it's much brighter purple now. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't lighten it, but it does brighten it. I did get Jewel to a dark brown. I actually just used the dark chocolate brown, and the red in it kind of helped balance everything out. Took out the purple tones. Obviously, they're all getting repainted baby hairs. With Coco, I went, black. It dried really well. I think it just looks really cool on her. She's a really cool doll, like so slept on and underestimated. She's actually really gorgeous. All right, and then we've got Brown Harper, which again, I'm not sure that I love it or if I'm going to end up doing it darker over time. We'll see. It is really pretty. Like, I like the kind of reddish brown. It's a color I don't already have in terms of dolls with brown hair, or at least not. I think the other ones I have are more like a dark blonde. This is more of a brown. All right, and then we've got Rainbow Harper. I actually love her way more than I thought I would. I was surprised at how well her rainbow came out. I'm sad that I couldn't do the one side blonde, one side rainbow, but honestly, I think it looks really, really pretty this way, and I'm not disappointed. Alright, and then we've got Crystal. Crystal's hair went brown really, really well. I'm going to end up repainting her eyeshadow, although I haven't at the time of this recording, and I'm going to include some photos of them done and dressed here in just a minute. So let me get that all set up for you guys. But before I do that, let me go ahead and show you guys Eliza right quick. I picked up a second one. This one actually has much better bangs than my first one. So I'm probably going to end up dyeing the first one and keeping this one as is. Maybe cleaning up her bangs a very small amount. But honestly, finding Eliza with good bangs was really hard. Like, probably as hard as finding her with good makeup. But I feel like she's kind of slept on as well. A lot of people don't like her because the makeup is very dark and the hair is very light. The clothes are light. It's kind of off balance. The black lettering on the clothes, which you guys know from the unboxing I did, that I don't really love. It's not my favorite. But on this doll, her lettering is actually more centered than on my first doll. Now, I saw other people be able to take the lettering off very easily. When I tried, not so much. It was very close to damaging the dress, so I ended up just leaving it. But I'm gonna take this Eliza out of the box right quick so we can get her dyed as well. Okay, a quick comparison between the two. The second Eliza is the one that's in stock. Her bangs are really good. Her makeup's really good. It's fairly even, honestly. Like, I was really surprised to find her. This is my first one. Her bangs are really janky. Even though after I did gel them and fix them, they don't stay. So I'm probably going to swap them out. I'm going to use this one. Ignore the black dot on her face. It literally rubbed off. I just couldn't get it while trying to hold her. But yeah, the bangs are definitely really ganky. Makeup on both of them is pretty good, pretty even. Finding an Eliza with good makeup was really hard. Like I said, finding her with good bangs was actually even harder. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to get everything swapped out on them. We're going to dye the first one and probably remove her bangs and keep this second one as is. Because like I said, her dress, the writing on it is really even. She looks really cute in it. I don't even know if I'm leaving her inner stock outfit, but I'm definitely keeping this dress. And I'm going to dye the first one. The black lettering is really off-centered and kind of sloppy looking. So I'm hoping that by dyeing her a darker color, dyeing the dress a darker color, there won't be that hard contrast between the dress and the lettering, and maybe it won't be so obviously, obnoxiously off-center. Okay, so I will say this much. I'm using Evening Blue. I really wanted to use Indigo. I happen to be out. As I said previously in the video, I don't necessarily keep all colors on hand at all times. So I'm hoping this Evening Blue, I feel like it's not going to get as dark as I want it. Since I did this doll, like after I posted her on Instagram finished. Okay, so here's her Evening Blue hair. I actually saw someone who did her hair and stuff in indigo as I was planning to, and it made me really glad that I didn't, because I felt like it was darker than what I would have wanted. I wish I had a way to do like an electric blue or whatever over this so it would match her eyeshadow better, but I am liking the Evening Blue. It did get the dress just dark enough. It didn't really affect the cage. Now, some plastics will be affected in boil dye. Like, some of the shoes dye really well. But this harder plastic just didn't really take the dye. The softer stuff kind of does. But overall, it does kind of take away from the black lettering and make it not so obvious. I still need to probably dip her back in and get around the edges really quickly. And then I'm going to keep her twisted like this so it dries with some curl in it because I do really like the curls. Okay, so wrapping up, the one I've liked the least is who I'll start with, and that is Jewel. The brown, honestly, actually looks really pretty on her. I have her hair tied the way I do because I didn't have time to, like, repaint her baby hairs. I still need to do that. So just so it's not, like, super obvious, I just kind of styled her hair, brushed her over the top of them like that. I'm also going to shorten the skirt because it's long and it makes this outfit feel really heavy. And okay, so those are Maria's boots, for those of you who don't know. She comes with that super long dress, so if you haven't watched an unboxing, you may not realize. But yeah, like, I feel like I don't like this outfit, which doesn't help. But I do like that her hair matches her eyebrows. I might even give her brown eyes at some point if I get some free time. But as of right now, like, she is really cute. It's not that I don't love her. It's just that, like, I don't know that any color would have gone super good with that teal. Maybe if I don't think I could have taken her blonde. Maybe a dark blonde. See, I'm not even sure because her hair wasn't really green. And I think I would have automatically tried to correct the green. I mean, pretty much like I did with like a red or whatever. Whereas her hair pretty much turned purple at the beginning. So, I don't know. I don't mind the brown. I wanted it to match her eyebrows. I thought it would look neat. I think I'm just getting tired of all the neutrals that I do. Which is dumb because I was so excited about them at first. But now it's like, oh, that's all I do. So anyway, Jewel ranks as my least favorite from this batch. On the topic of brown-haired beauties that I'm kind of on the fence about, I've seen other people do a crystal with brown hair and I actually really love it. I think it goes really nicely with her skin tone. I think it goes really nicely with her eyebrows. I don't love the clothes I have her in, but again, I never dye enough brown clothes, so I do think I'm going to dye her something fresh later. I think my biggest issue with her is that I don't love her eyes and her eye makeup, and that's kind of on me. I just need some time to repaint her and pop in a different set of eyes. Maybe even give her a lip repaint. Okay, next up is Coco with her hair done in black. I actually really like the black hair on her. I think it looks really pretty. Again, I've given her kind of a side tucked bang because I didn't have the time to like paint her baby hairs. But I think she looks really cute with the black hair. I just think that I'm getting kind of over neutrals. With that being said, that means that Brunette Harper is next on the list. Honestly, the color looks better on her than I expected. It goes really well with her eyes and lips. The only thing is it feels like it's almost a little too close to her skin tone, so there's not a lot of contrast there. But these dyed ruby jeans look really good on her as well. And her shoes are actually Nefra's from Monster High. The original Monster High Big Sister shoes actually fit Rainbow High Heels really well. So it just kind of worked out. But yeah, no, she's really pretty with this hair color. I don't hate it. I think I'm just really starting to bore myself silly with neutrals. So I've actually put, and you can see this black purple mix here. This is my like original straight out of the box Ainsley. Here is my dyed one, and you can see a lot more purple in her hair versus this one. I mean, she still has purple, but it's just very, very dark. You can't really lighten their hair, but what you can do is, I guess, sort of brighten it a little, depending on what color you use. I boiled her in that fuchsia for what felt like forever, just to get, I mean, like I said, side by side, it still probably doesn't look like a super big difference. It's definitely more noticeable in person. But it's just nice to have Ainsley a little closer to the color she's supposed to have in the show. I really wish they'd actually given her that color. I've seen some people reroute her. Some get kind of close, some get way too bright. Like, I think it's hard to get an accurate kind of mix. So this was the most I could do given what she was rooted with. And obviously I'm not one for rerouting with my arthritis, so this is what it is. In case you guys were wondering, the jacket on my out-of-box Ainsley is actually an LOL OMG jacket, and the shoes are from the Rainbow High Accessories second, I guess, box set with the Shadow High shoes in them. So, yeah. It doesn't look like a huge difference. It's like I said, it's way more noticeable in person. I really wish that like my phone would pick it up better, but I don't think it's gonna. Okay, and then my next to most favorite is Eliza in the Evening Blue Rit dye. I am a little sad that I didn't get to do it indigo, which was my original like plan, but it's kind of a lucky thing that I had run out, because someone else like literally like just a couple of days later showed theirs on Dollstagram, done in indigo, and it actually, while it was really pretty, was not what I had pictured it to be in my head. So I'm kind of glad I didn't do it, because I feel like I would have been disappointed. Even though hers turned out really, really lovely, I'm actually glad that I went with the Evening Blue. I do feel like it helps with the dress, because the writing on the dress is so crooked. On this one anyway, my other ones is much more centered. It makes the writing like not, I mean, it's still really noticeable, but obviously like not as noticeable as it was on the super pale version of her dress. Yeah, I actually really love her. I think she turned out really well. And then my favorite out of all these ones that died is this rainbow haired Harper. We've got blue, green, yellow, orange, pink, and purple. I swapped her eyes. I don't even remember who with. I think they're Skylar's, honestly. But like I actually really like the rainbow vibe on her, and I'm sad that I didn't get to do it half blonde, half rainbow because of the like dye bleeding a bit. But I actually just think it turned out really good, so I'm not even sad about it. Okay, guys, and really quick, just some bonus feature. Sometimes when I'm not feeling well, I'll dye stuff, but I just kind of dye it off camera because like I'm too tired to record it. And that's kind of what happened with these twin Delilahs. I picked them up when I think it was Target was having like a super good sale, whatever, like $13, or maybe it was Amazon, I can't remember. They were really cheap. So I just picked up 2 extra ones because I really like her clothes. They're really fun to dye, and then her hair being light means I can do quite a bit with it. So with this one over here, I actually quartered her hair. So 3/4 of it is just a sink wash in chocolate brown. The sweater is actually Gabriella's sweater that's been boiled in it's cocoa brown, Rick cocoa brown. The sweater's been boiled in it because it takes a little more for it to take the dye, because it's like an acrylic fabric. The hair was just a sink wash in that same cocoa brown. And then I repainted her lips with like just a color I had on hand to match her sweater. I am probably going to take her freckles off and maybe even give her some brown eyes at some point. But for now, I just thought she looked really cute like this. I kept this little, I guess like quarter of her hair blonde, and I gave her some bangs by thatching through the second layer to the front, and then just giving her a quick snip across the bang. And then for this one right here, I haven't finished her. I wanted to make her like a black hair ribbon and a little black choker, but I actually just used purple shampoo from like Walmart, not even Sally's. Like I just grabbed one from Walmart because we were out at home. Everyone in my house, except for Bear, the kids and I all dye our hair quite a bit, so we keep this kind of stuff on hand pretty frequently. But I think I paid $5 for just like a basic purple shampoo at Walmart. And I'll throw a picture in, or maybe like a link, if I can find it, like in the description. But all I did was I put it on her hair, and so the first time I waited about like 5 minutes and then washed it out, and it was still pretty yellowy. So I added it in for like another 7 or 8 minutes and then rinsed it out, and it was this perfect shade of gray. I've repainted her baby hairs to match. I've also repainted her lips. I'm gonna leave her eyes as is. She's got Chanel's dress and Mila's boots. So yeah, I really, really love her. I do. I was nervous about using the purple shampoo because I've heard if you leave it in too long, It can tint the hair kind of purple. I wasn't really sure what color I was going to get, and then I was going to have to paint match and everything. So I actually think she came out really well. But I just want to show you this, guys, because I did do them off camera. And I'm really sorry, like I said, that this video has taken forever. I think I started recording it in like October, late October, with the holidays and everything, and like cold weather setting in and whatnot. It's just been like a really long winter. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that, you know, I gave you some fun ideas for dyeing or neutralizing. I'm going to do a video for my birthday coming up this month, if I have time. That'll be another dye video. I also have some like unboxings I still need to do. I've got like a stack, like a huge stack of stuff that I have not even unboxed yet. So that's a thing. So yeah, I will see you guys as soon as I can, but until then, like, I hope that you enjoyed this video and it helped inspire you, and I'd love to see if you follow any of these dyes and give them a try yourself. Tag me on Instagram in your pictures, and I'll see you guys next time.